more than human. This is Master Zhou, a 71-year-old teacher and practitioner of an ancient Chinese discipline called Qigong. Master Zhou started training in this martial art at the age of 7 and has practiced it ever since. He claims he can use his skill to withstand heat on his skin, enough heat to leave the average person burned, blistered, scarred.
To really have the level of qi to control heat takes a very long time.
Actually, what he does is a lot like firewalking, only instead of using his feet, Master Zhou uses his hands and even his tongue. The ancient art of firewalking across a bed of coals has been practiced in different cultures for thousands of years. For some, it was a custom to prove bravery. For others, it was a ritual on the way to manhood. And for some, an indication of one's faith in the gods. But despite its varied uses, it can easily be explained by science. As a person walks across the bed of hot coals, the soles of the feet are protected from burns in several ways. First, the human body keeps the temperature of the skin and foot close to 98.6 degrees, and it takes quite a bit of heat to change that. Also, the soot on the surface of coals insulates the feet from the hottest temperatures. But even if Master Zhou's routine is part illusion and part courage, like the firewalkers, it still is playing with fire. Bottom line, it's extremely risky and dangerous. So how does he do it? Is there something special about his body? His pain tolerance? Is it mind over matter? Is Master Zhou more than human? We brought him and his interpreter, Georgia Wang, to our test facility to find out in an investigation led by our team physician, Dr. Robert Satari. First, we tested Zhou's ability to absorb heat with his hands under the precise scrutiny of our cameras and experts.
Now, before we start, can I examine your hands? Now, there's no serious burns or any burns at all.
Has he ever injured himself before doing these things?
Never.
We will also use a special thermal camera to document the entire experiment.
Right there?
Like a mood ring, this camera will read, identify, and report exactly how hot things are with color-coded images. Test 1. This is a flame-broiled iron chain, the kind you would find in a hardware store. And yes, he's going to touch it with his bare hands. Don't ever try this at home.
This thing is white hot.
We've all heard the phrase red hot, which sounds and is pretty darn hot. About 1450 degrees Fahrenheit, actually. But that's not hot enough for the master. So we went to white hot, 2700 degrees Fahrenheit. That's hot enough to melt stainless steel.
Can we bring the lights down just a tad bit, guys, to look at this? Look at this. Yeah, touch it with your... So how hot this actually... Whoa, look at that. This is newspaper.
Master Zhou will attempt to run his bare hands across the white-hot iron chain. Repeat, never try this at home.
Focusing. Just a little bit of soot, but no burns, it doesn't. Is there any burns on there, doctor?
No. No, there's just some...
Can you do it one more time?
Can we see it once more?
Even at this point, that iron chain is at least 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit.
Back and forth. And nothing.
Watch that again.
How does it appear, doctor?
Nothing, just some soot and no burns. And do you feel okay?
You probably think it's all about the hands, right? That thought crossed our minds. So we challenged our 71-year-old Qigong master to demonstrate another of his amazing skills. Placing a white-hot iron bar against his bare tongue.
Okay, here we go, right on the tongue.
He's licking it.
Because you can see the steam coming out of there.
We know what you're thinking, but let's look at it again from a different angle. His tongue is really touching that red-hot bar. He's licking that slab of metal like it's a cherry popsicle.
Good. Up. He's got full function. He's moving it. There's no blisters. There's nothing, no indication of a burn.
So far, we've performed these tests under close medical scrutiny. Our reaction? Amazement, sure. Bafflement, absolutely. And also a burning desire, no pun intended, to up the ante. So the master offered to bite a piece of hot iron in half.
Red hot metal.
That sounds like he's upping the ante. Again, very dangerous. Don't even think of trying this at home. You could do permanent damage to your mouth, lips, and tongue.
I'm ready, let's eat.
Cigarette.
I don't smoke. I don't smoke. I'm allergic to cancer. There we go. Lit the cigarette.
Amazing. Tell him he should stop smoking. It's not good for him.
他说请你不要抽烟。
Let's watch that again. How does he do this? I mean, this guy is really playing with fire here. Let's face it, he should be a dust bunny after what he's done. So let's think this through. Okay, first, even though we know that this routine has its roots in firewalking, the camera doesn't lie. The master is actually touching and licking extremely hot metal. So his hands and tongue must absorb a great deal of heat. Is this a case of mind over matter? Does his practice of Qigong meditation play a role in his amazing abilities? Perhaps, like the firewalker's feet, the master's hands and tongue can endure a certain amount of exposure to the heat before the skin starts to burn. In addition, the iron chain and bar appear to have some coal soot on them, which could insulate Master Zhou from the heat. Whatever the case, we witnessed something pretty amazing.
This is just incredible.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. How do you say in Chinese, you're more than human?
超人。
Chaorin? Chaorin. Chaorin. Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Unbelievable.
Full of a mysterious and powerful energy that resides deep inside every human body. Experience the force of Master Zhou, channeler of Qigong, otherwise known as Qi power.
I can see energy, and also I can perceive energy, like a touch sensation.
Most cultures have some kind of a conception that there is something bigger than the physical body, that there's something that goes beyond what's here and now.
Master Zhou demonstrates how Qi energy can be summoned like a force field to intensify the resilience of the flesh, in effect, making him a man of steel.
I must use a lot of energy concentrating in those areas. That way I won't hurt my body or hurt myself.
Master Zhou does not simply bend steel with bare hands. He uses the most vulnerable part of his body, the soft, fleshy part of his throat. One slip could cost him his life. But the ultimate execution of his power lies not in these mere demonstrations, but in his role as healer, illuminating the future of modern medicine.
When I am practicing Qi, I'm using my mind to send energy from my hand to the other person.
I had a detached retina, and after my last surgery in August, I was in terrible pain. After seeing Master Zhou, I could see light go off. and I see lots of colors, and I can see flash bulbs go on and off.
I believe there is some validity in the application of qi and working with energy fields. However, I think it's hard to convince a patient to take a new type of treatment if it's in its experimental phase.
A lot of the modern movements toward finding, quote, non-traditional cures, non-traditional medicine, to some degree is a rejection of real problems in Western medicine.
My personal belief that there is an energy field that surrounds us. What its application may be to modern medicine is, I'm not sure at this time.
If you believe that chanting something over you and waving your hands over you is going to heal you, I just hope that you don't have terminal cancer or something of that nature.
Qi power does not exist. There's no such thing as qi power. The fact that it's 4,000 years old doesn't make it any more viable than if it was 4 years old. It doesn't matter, because qi power is in here.
Nevertheless, for his patients and many observers, Master Zhou's harnessing of qi power is undeniable.
Come down to molecules and atoms. So it speaks to our need, it reflects our need to find answers that are different and apart from our material world, our need to believe